It's a funny story because I had one picture on my social media, which I'm 26 years old now, and it was my year 12 graduation photo. That's the only photo I had posted on social media across all my platforms up until now. So that's how anti-social media I was, how scared and embarrassed I was to post myself. You can kind of see that framework. Maybe you have other people around you that don't really post themselves, but at least they might post a holiday photo every now and then. Me, none of that stuff. I posted one photo in 26 years. So it took a real shift for me to finally start posting myself on social media and get over that. So I'm going to tell you the kind of things that I had to change in my mindset to really get into that. So the first thing is that people are scared of judgment, and that's the main thing that holds them back. Fear of, we've all heard it, fear of being judged by others. You know, they'll call you cringe, they'll call you whatever it is. And the real funny thing is the only reason you're scared of that is because you think of it first. The only reason that style of thinking is in your head is because you think of that of others first. When you see other people post, I bet you've probably had the thought, maybe it's an old friend from high school or uni or whatever it is, a friend of a friend, and they post whatever it is, and you might have that thought pop up in your head of, oh, that's cringe, or why are they posting that? You know, they're not as good as that other person, whatever it is. So because of you, you're the reason why you are scared of that judgment, because you judge others first. Once I understood that I'm my own worst enemy in this thing, and that people actually don't care that much to begin with, that's the real thing that needed to change for me. That was the biggest pivotal change, was understanding that I had to remove my own judgments of others. Before I started posting gym content, gym value, all that kind of thing, health advice, before I started posting, I would see other people literally around me at the gym posting where I'm at still right now. They would be getting their tripods out, posting themselves, and I'd be in my head, I'd be making fun of them, like, oh, who's this gym influencer? What is he trying to flex in front of the mirror? Look, he's a bit up himself, whatever it is. And now I am one of those people now, posting themselves every single day, trying to put out value out there. And so it's a real big shift, but it can happen quickly once you make that change in your mind of removing your judgments of other people. And that's the real key thing here, because all these thoughts that you have in your mind, the reason why you're scared to walk out at the street at night because you're worried about someone mugging you, taking you out, it's because you've had a thought of that in your mind as well. A little bit deep and dark, but at the end of the day, when you think of when you think of fear of anything that happens in this world, it's because you've had the thought in your mind first. If you didn't have the thought in your mind, you wouldn't be scared of it. You wouldn't have that judgment around it. So it all starts with you at the end of the day. A little bit of a weird example there, but this is the key thing that you need to change is remove your judgments of others, and then you won't have that fear anymore because there's nothing to worry about there. And at the end of the day, people just don't really care anyway. The other thing that really helped me is finding my reason why to post. When you want to get started on social media, there's a number of reasons why you want to do it. Maybe you just want to create a bit of a memory bank of memories and share those kind of times that you have throughout your life. Maybe it's for creating value. I've been posting on social media now from that one photo that I posted in 26 years. Now I post every single day, gym content, value, health advice, all that kind of thing to help people. And that's my reason why. So if you're able to find what is it that's going to drive you into posting and keep you consistent, that's the second big thing. Because once you have that why, it makes it so much easier to go through the hard periods and the periods where you don't have the instant gratification, is when you have a reason why and you understand why you're doing something. So have your reason why. You're trying to start a business, you want to start marketing it online. You want to put yourself out there. You need people to resonate with the person who's on the other side of the camera to invest into, to buy your product, whatever it is. So find your reason why and remove judgments. Those are two really big things that I needed to come to terms with and really come to acceptance with why I wanted to do this. And another, a different aspect, a little bit shifting here, but if from a bit more of a male ego perspective, I like to feel like I'm the best, and I want to do what others can't. I know so many people would be too shit scared to post themselves, to talk to a camera, to look at it dead in the eye and just talk and give advice or post themselves on social media or on Instagram. I know too many people are not willing to do it. So from a bit of a male ego perspective, I want to beat you. Okay, I want to do what you can't. So that's one of the main things. On top of a bit more of the nicer holistic approach, deep down, a bit more animalistic, you can find a lot of different reasons to push through something. You can find it a lot of different perspectives. So having a bit of an ego with it as well, understanding that you're doing something that someone else can't, and that's the reason why you're going to go somewhere where they won't. So that's a key thing that you need to have in the back pocket of your mind as well. A bit of a male ego one that I use as well. So that's a really good one that I like to think of from time to time. And when you get started posting on social media, whatever it is that you decide to do, don't wait. So when I started posting on YouTube, it took me forever to work up the courage to finally go and shoot the video. And then when I was there, it took me hours because I kept trying to get the right shots and the right words, or try and get the right view, whatever it is. And I realized looking back, I wasted so much time. I should have just started getting straight into it and understand that the first times that you post on social media, it's going to look like shit. Once you understand that and really think of the first few times that you post, the first 10, 100 times that you put out content out there, that it's going to bomb, it's going to be shit, and it's just a trial, it's just a practice. That's how I like to think about even this right now. I'm still relatively new, getting started. All this is just practice, it's just a trial. So if you wait too long for the perfect moment, for the perfect words, for the perfect setup and situation, you're going to be delaying getting started. You're going to build up the fear in your head of finally getting that post out and putting yourself out there. So the one key thing here as well is to just start. So maybe you give yourself to the end of this week to put out one post, whatever it is. Instead of thinking, oh, I'll plan it and then next week I'll think about what the view will be in the background, and then maybe, we're in October now, maybe towards the end of the year, that's when you might even start to think about really posting that video or recording it. So that's the main thing, is just get started. I know you hear it all around, just start, but it's a real key thing here. I'm not saying after this just go straight out and just go film it. Put a little bit of effort into it in terms of planning it, what you want to do, but give yourself to the end of the week at the maximum to do what your goal is, to do what you wanted to do. And then you'll find after that one, you realize you got over that fear of putting it out there. Once you press upload, all the fear kind of goes away. It's a weird feeling. And then all you'll be thinking about is, how do I make the next one better, the next one better, the next one better? And then 10 videos later, 20 videos later, you can look back in your first one, realize that you were putting all this effort into something that was going to be shit anyway, but at least you're now in a position where you're 10 steps ahead and improving, versus if you never put it out, you waited a month, 2 months, 6 months, you still didn't climb over that barrier there, you would still be at step 0. So don't wait for that perfect time to think that you're going to put out this massive blockbuster, piece of content out there. It's going to be shit. Get to terms with it, accept it, understand it's just a trial, and just go straight for it. And the other thing is, when you want to get started posting on social media, more often than not, you want to try to start to provide some value, build something of yourself. Understanding that you don't have to be the best in the field to start giving and providing value. That's one of the key things that was holding me back as well. I thought, I didn't look like, some of these top, gym influencers and whatever. But at the end of the day, there's always someone that you can provide value to. There's always levels to everything. And at the end of the day, if it can only be the top person giving value and creating, there'd be only just, one person per field. And it doesn't make a lot of sense that way. So there's always someone you can learn from. And that's how you need to switch that mindset, is that you can teach someone that used to be in your situation 6 months ago. So if you're in a fitness journey, like me, and 6 months ago or a year ago, you were a completely different person, you're now so much more in shape, stronger, fitter, whatever it is, you can go back and now teach that person. You don't need to be, 200 pounds, 6 foot, 5% body fat in order to give advice. You just need to be better than the next person. And if you're able to provide value, you're able to understand somebody else's perspective, the struggles that they go through. In a way, it's almost better. If you get someone that's at that top elite level, bodybuilder, for example, this is all just gym related, but this can extrapolate to any field as well. If you get the top 1% person, they're not going to understand the struggles of some everyday Joe that's just struggling to get the motivation to go to the gym for the first time, or too scared to step foot inside the gym. They don't understand that the fear and what's holding them back in that situation. But someone like yourself, who maybe is 1, 2, 5 years into their journey, who still remembers that fear, that barrier to entry that you went through, what things you needed to do to overcome that, and you can now teach that to somebody else. No, you're not at the same level as that top 1% bodybuilder, but it doesn't mean you can't start posting, doesn't mean you can't start providing value. You still have value to give, maybe in a different way, a different perspective, is that you have a value to give that he can't. So don't let thinking that you have to be the best, you need to finally get to that end destination before you can start putting yourself out there and start posting. And that's one of the key things I had to get over as well, because I know that I'm not in the position that I want to be just yet, but I've made crazy progress over the years that I've been lifting, and compared to the normal person, I can now give advice to them. No, I'm not a top 1% elite, bodybuilder, powerlifter, anything like that, and I'm striving towards that, getting better every day. But it doesn't mean I can't now provide value to someone else. So once I made that mindset shift and understood that, I do belong here. I do belong to give advice, and it is wanted. So make that little switch, and that's going to change everything for you. So these are a few key things that helped me start posting on social media. And obviously it's a funny story that I only put up one photo for all my 26 years of life. So I'm one of the extreme cases of anti-social media, not posting. Like, at least most of your friends, your buddies, whatever it is, I'm sure at least on their Instagram, their Facebook, they've got a few family photos or a few trips on holidays to Europe or whatever it is. Me, I posted none of that stuff because I didn't like it. So make this change, really think about these points that I'm giving, and that's going to change everything for you in terms of finally getting started. And I know it's going to work for you.